Welcome to worship with us at St. John's as we enter into the season of Advent leading up to Christmas with hope and expectation. Our gospel reading today comes from the 13th chapter of the Gospel of Mark. Jesus said, "In those days, after that suffering, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in heaven will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send out angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig tree learn its lesson. As soon as branches become tender and put forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that he is near, at the very gates. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day or hour no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Be aware, keep alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey. When he leaves home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on watch. Therefore keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening or at midnight or at cockcrow or at dawn, or else he may find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Last Sunday afternoon, I headed into the backyard to do the last of the planting of fall. This time in the back portion of our yard, flowers for spring and summer that have recently arrived. At the moment, it doesn't look like much, dirt covered by mulch. And when I ran out of mulch, I simply mulched piles of leaves in my yard and covered them. It appears wholly unimpressive, yet buried in the dirt is the seed. Water and sunshine will help, and a cold winter won't hurt at all. But at some point in the future, likely in the springtime of the year, there will be signs of new life. Right now, though, it just looks barren and empty. Advent feels a lot to me like the last planting of the fall. We hope for new life, yet at the moment all appears dark, and the signs of new life are far away. Of course, when we hope for new life, we know that summer is near. Now we act in hope, planting in the shortening of days. To go back inside after my planting was to return through the kitchen, the place where we cook our meals and clean continually. The unexpected visitor to the Kern house would likely find evidence of the last meal we had made at any time of day. Our kitchen a constant state of dirty dishes from cooking and clean dishes from washing. And at the most hectic of times, there is a solitary one of us in the kitchen, getting ready the next meal for us to eat together. During this Advent time of year, our table is simply decorated where we eat with candles for Advent. And after we share our evening meal together, we light a candle, or two, or three, or four, as the weeks of Advent progress. We read a devotion, and sometimes from one of the gospel books, one of the stories that accompany the birth of Jesus. And we sing, picking through our hymnals and picking favorite songs and carols of the season. Sometimes the whole carol, other times just a verse or two. Often our songs become like prayers for us. To borrow from Martin Luther, the one who sings prays twice. And frequently I'm caught yawning as we sing, sitting around the dark table and the lighted candles, the low lights slowly coaxing me to sleep. I hear the word keep awake, pondering the ways of sleep and rest and darkness can help us keep alert. Friends, the opposite of awake is constant activity, continual and perpetual motion, being busy to the point of distraction, not having a moment to reflect or to listen. Being active, being busy, and being distracted isn't the same thing as being awake. In our over-caffeinated 24/7 world, it's tempting to read the gospel as if people should not sleep, or that we should continually leave one person up all night keeping watch over us. Jesus isn't looking for disciples who don't sleep, who forego rest, and whose brains are jumbled because we don't turn them off for a spell. One of the things that I noticed in my own life is that when preparing for the birth of our children, as the days grew closer, we slept more, not less. The days of sleeping follow the new birth. Part of waiting, part of hope, is allowing rest, allowing sleep to come. And surely when we're well rested, we are better equipped to hear the cry, be it at evening or at midnight or at cockcrow or at dawn. As a child, I could always distinguish the voice of my mom and my dad, even when we were in a large crowd calling out to me, be it at a whisper or at the top of their voice. And now, as a dad myself, I can pick the voices of my children out of a room full of people who are talking, whether I am close or far away, whether I've gone to sleep for tonight or awake. The one who is coming for us again is the one who calls us beloved children in the waters of baptism. And when Christ returns, children of God will discover we have been given ears to hear the one who tenderly calls out to us. Whether it happens at evening or at midnight, at cockcrow or at dawn, will make no difference. To rest in these days of shortening light is an act of hope and expectation, confident in our knowledge of the season. Eventually the daylight will lengthen. Eventually the temperatures will rise and warm again. Eventually God, who loves us unconditionally, returns. Clear in our expectations that we are not waiting for a monarch, but the child born of Mary. At the moment, our hope and expectation look a lot alike. Seed buried under dirt and mulch, wholly unimpressive. Life is yet unseen. While we don't know the moment nor the hour, we cling fast to the promises of God. New life is coming. New life will spring forth for the good of all creation. Today, that is our promise and our hope and our expectation as we light the first candle of Advent and we await the time of God's return. Amen.